Breaking news this weekend, Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein announcing new indictments in Robert Mueller's Russia probe. 13 Russians charged with interfering in our election, but that interference did not affect the outcome.
Now, there is no allegation in this indictment that any American was a knowing participant in this illegal activity. There is no allegation in the indictment that the charged conduct altered the outcome of the 2016 election. And the nature of the scheme was that the defendants took extraordinary steps to make it appear that they were ordinary American political activists, even going so far as to base their activities on a virtual private network here in the United States. So if anybody traced it back to that first jump, they appear to be Americans.
So we're still waiting for the Trump indictments, right? Lanny Davis served as White House special counsel under President Bill Clinton and is the author of The Unmaking of the President 2016. All right, Lanny, so I'm looking at this announcement here, and we're reading through it, and we're waiting, and we're trying to see, where is Trump involved in these Russian indictments? I don't see it.
No, well, it's not in the indictments. Even Jesse Waters can't see something that's not there. But what is there is a contradiction of Donald Trump's denial that Russians meddled in the election. If that case is true, and it's all allegations.
Well, I mean, I think the president understands that the Russians tried to interfere in the election, but he's never believed that they affected the outcome.
He actually has denied that they interfered, and he's never said they interfered. So, Jesse, call the White House. I know you have a better line than I do. Donald Trump has never admitted. In fact, he's contradicted his intelligence community's finding that the Russians
Don't you see why, though? Is because he won a clear victory in the Electoral College over Hillary Clinton, and he sees any attempt to make it look like he won because of Russia as undermining his credibility.
So you use the word because of. That's not what I said. So you can have your opinion of something being because of. I said that Donald Trump has never confirmed that the Russians interfered in the election. That's a fact. Now, will you contradict that statement?
I will not contradict that statement. What I want to talk about is the indictment, because you guys keep moving the goalposts. First it's collusion, then it's obstruction, and now all you have after this Mueller indictment of 13 Russians is something Donald Trump may or may not have said, and now you want him to admit it. But that's fine. Let's look at the indictment. So a bunch of Russians get fake IDs and go on Twitter and try to pay someone at a rally to hold up a Hillary for jail sign, and that's what Mueller's been working on this whole time. It seems like after all this money and after all this manpower, this is all they have? Yeah, of course we know the Russians are messing around.
Well, first of all, Jesse, I do facts, you do rhetoric, and that's what we both do. My book shows...
Well, I mean, that was a fact, which I just recited from the indictment, but that's okay.
Actually, nothing in the indictment are facts. They're allegations that need to be proven in court. So these people are innocent until proven guilty. What we know is that his former national
Well, that's not what you say about Donald Trump. You've accused him of, being guilty of obstruction and collusion. All your friends, Lanny, love to do that. Well, so I'm glad you believe Trump is innocent until proven guilty.
Jesse, I don't know if things have changed with you and me. Is it you or my friends? I never do that.
Okay.
And you know that I'm
going to give you the benefit of the doubt. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay. So my book is about a statistic that on October 28th in the morning, Hillary Clinton is winning by a large margin, and within 3 days after the Comey letter is written, she starts to drop like a rock. Now, James Comey, there's one thing Donald Trump and I and you agree on. He should have been fired. I think for a different reason than Donald Trump. But what I wrote the book about is not to say anything was because of. You can't prove Russian meddling caused Hillary Clinton to lose. It clearly had an impact, but you can't prove that. But you can prove that statistically after the letter hit by James Comey, which Rod Rosenstein said was a reason for him to be fired. And I agree with that.
Yeah, listen, well, you and I agree that Comey botched the Clinton investigation. You probably disagree with the ways he botched it than I do, but it's of course true that she started to drop, or she had been probably dropping a little bit, and then he announced about the emails that were discovered on Anthony Weiner's laptop. But she does have to take responsibility. Comey wouldn't have made that announcement if she hadn't set up a private server and then deleted all those emails and caused all the problem to begin with.
Well, first of all, she has taken responsibility for a mistake on the use of emails. That can be true. It can also be true that but for that Comey letter, she wins, and I think I proved that in my book statistically. But at least we both agree that James Comey botched. His professional duty was not to hold a press conference. He's not an elected official. He thinks he is. He acts like he is, but he isn't.
Listen,
and he can be fired and deserve to be fired.
Listen, I agree. And if Hillary had won, she would have probably canned Comey as well. Let's take a look back, though, about that summer, 2016. You could argue that Comey let her off the hook and that there was evidence that could have been used to recommend an indictment, and that language was softened by Peter Strzok, who was a pro-Hillary supporter at the FBI, and that she was exonerated before she was even interviewed. There's a lot of evidence to suggest that in the summer, Comey let her off the hook.
So I cover that, and thank you for asking me that. I cover that in my book. Fact one is out of 33,000 emails, not one was identified as classified. Not one ever found, and still to this day.
Wait, no, there was classified emails that were found on her private server.
I said identified as classified by the stamp that's supposed to occur for every classified document, and that's the reason that there can be no criminal case. And Comey was correct, and there never was a chance of there being a criminal case without a classified stamped email that she ignored.
Right. Listen, Lanny, we got to run, and your book, it looks like it's going to be a big one. It's going to have to compete against Comey's book. So hopefully people have enough money in the Trump economy to buy 2 books.
Can I give you one sentence complimenting you that I've watched you grow up on television, behind the scenes, and on camera, and you're a great, I think, a great television person, and I take some credit for your success in your career.
Well, thank you very much, Lanny. It means a lot because I used to book your cars and pre-interview you years ago when you used to come on Fox. So it's nice having you back in Waters World. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right.